Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name's Nicole and it's another book talk in the kitchen. That's what we have going on here. And as promised, tonight we're making dinner. But while I do that, I'm going to answer the questions for the Girl Scout cookie tag. Look at me, I remembered the name of that one. Probably because it's Girl Scout cookies and I've got some in my freezer. Do I still have some in my freezer? Or did that little child that I live with eat them all? Let me go check, this is important. We're good. Okay, so focus. Back to what I was saying. So the Girl Scout cookie tag. I was tagged by Aaron Facer, and I will link his channel and his tag answers below, his video below. That's what I'm trying to say. And this tag was created by Melinda at Web of Stories, which I feel like I knew that, but I forgot until I looked it up again. And so yeah, I will also link her channel where you can go and find the questions so that you can answer these questions for yourself. And while I listen to Aaron and try and think of how I'm possibly going to answer these questions, I'm also going to make some cheeseburgers and French fries for dinner tonight with some vegetables because I'm also eating a cookie before I cook. So let me see what the first question is and turn the oven on, because if nobody's ever told you, if you ever need to buy an oven, buy one that heats up quickly, because I'm pretty sure by the time I'm done with this tag video, I'll still be waiting for the oven to preheat. It is what it is. Let's see here. Total eye. Step one is done. Okay, so finished that cookie and it was delicious, and probably a mistake because now I want another one. But I'm making crinkle cut fries. Let me know what your favorite cut of fries is, but crinkle cut, waffle, pretty much any potato in the shape of a French fry, but crinkle cut is definitely like my frozen French fry favorite because it's all about the crispiness. So question one is, what was question one, Aaron? Favorite classic? Question one is a classic novel you love, and this one is easy. If you've been watching my channel for a while, and even if you haven't, you're going to hear it come up over and over again. So a classic I love, David Copperfield. Can't say enough things. Love that book. It was so good. It was everything I wanted and more. Okay, well, gotta figure out a vegetable. Oh, I think I did. I think I'm gonna make salad. And the French fries are still waiting. Time has passed, and temperature of the oven is 3/4 of the way there. Anyway, so question number two is Lemon Ups, which is the type of cookie I was eating in my, not Girl Scout cookie tag, in my reader profile tag where I had 10 cookies. And I had some Lemon Ups. So that question is a book you find inspiring, and I had to really think about this. And the book that I ended up coming up with was Educated by Tara Westover. There was a lot in that book that wasn't inspiring. It was sort of like things to avoid, but just sort of her journey and her grit to kind of see through things and get the education that she wanted in the long run. That was the part that I found inspiring, and just kind of the idea that, you know, you're never too old to learn more, and you can overcome a lot. Given some effort. That's not always true. There's a lot of other factors and luck and whatnot that plays into it, but overall I found that book very inspiring. Number three is S'mores, a book you find comforting, which is kind of funny because I really don't like marshmallows, so I don't like s'mores, so there's nothing comforting in that for me. It's really kind of a gross, disgusting feeling in my mouth, but sticking with the question, a comforting book for me would probably be The Tale of Genji. I just find that book the kind of book that I just want to sit down and cozy up with. Not all of it. There are some parts that I'm like, that's really frustrating. But there are a lot of descriptions in that book of the landscape. They're very focused on the beauty. Oh, the oven. They're not focused on the oven. I'm focused on the oven. Let's get those fries in there. So while the fries cook, I'm gonna make my salad. I did discover, sadly, that I have no cheese. So no cheeseburgers tonight, unless somebody magically comes home in the next couple of minutes with cheese. But, yeah, we'll see. I'm very skeptical that that's going to happen. Anyway, so, what was I talking about? Oh, the Tale of Genji. So that is just an absolutely, let me lower this so you can at least get somewhat of an interesting view of what I'm doing. So the Tale of Genji is great because, yeah, there's just a lot of talk of like beauty, nature, none of the things going on in my bag in a salad, but, and just springtime and, yeah, I don't know, just a lot of good things that I find comforting when I'm reading. So yeah, ooh, my son just texted and told me that he might bring home some cheese. So we'll see, because he's getting a ride from a friend. So am I skeptical about this working out with teenagers, and will he even have enough money on him to buy a pack of cheese? We'll see how motivated he is. Hopefully he doesn't decide to mooch off a friend. So the Tale of Genji, number 4, is Adventurefuls, which I've never had, but that sounds interesting. So Adventurefuls is an adventurous book. I would say, let's see if I can think of a book I haven't mentioned yet. I'm realizing that I'm putting my salad together a little early, and if I put my salad dressing on now, it's all going to be soggy. Okay, we'll put that to the side. So Storygraph has been my friend this entire time, and this is not sponsored by Storygraph. But it's nice because you can filter not only the books that you want to read, but you can filter the books that you've read. So that is how I'm mainly coming up with the answers to these. So let me see what Storygraph is going to tell me was a book that I read that I said was adventurous. Okay, I got it. And ironically, it's not one that Storygraph said. So apparently I didn't mark it as adventurous when I reviewed it. But I'm going to go with 3 Men in a Boat. When I think of adventurous, I think of like people going on a journey and having adventures. And yeah, that sounds like 3 Men in a Boat to me. And I also really liked the adventure they were on. Ironically, there are quite a few adventurous books that I labeled as adventurous that I personally thought were just okay. So I don't know what that means, but there's that for you. So question number 5, Samoas. So I forget what cookies those are. I think they're the ones with the coconut on them and the chocolate. Yeah, I think I like those ones. And that's a book that blends 2 or more genres. So I'm going to go with Cloud Cuckoo Land. And I actually thought of this one without the help of Storygraph, but I confirmed it using Storygraph. So Cloud Cuckoo Land is by Anthony Doerr. It was a 5-star read for me. I absolutely loved that book. I also think the cover of it's beautiful and the hardback of it's beautiful. And there's like special editions of it that are also amazingly beautiful. But Cloud Cuckoo Land, according to Storygraph, covers 3 different genres: historical, literary, and science fiction. Yeah, it's definitely all of those things and more. And it happens to also be an adventurous novel, which I would agree. But yeah, I think some people are turned off from reading this book because they hear about what the story is about, which is about 2 kids that are sort of on a journey together, and they're in the time of Constantinople and the Byzantine Empire. And then it also takes place in sort of the 2000s with a young man at a library, and way into the future in outer space on a spaceship. So yeah, I think a lot of people have a hard time meshing those 3 genres together, but I don't think Anthony Doerr did. It's an amazing book and well worth the read if you can get over the fact that you're going to jump between 3 stories that are going to seem not related to one another. If you like books that are more or less so about books, read that book. You know, I'm just realizing, did I put the fries in there too early? Because the temperature is right now, but I feel like it beeped at me again. We're just going to go with it because they're in there and they're cooking, and I only have 4 minutes left until I have to shift them around and shake them up so that they crisp nicely. So, yay! And then when those come out, I'm going to put the burgers on my little, George Foreman wannabe over there. Number 6 is Do-Si-Do's, which is a book you love that everyone else seems to hate, or a book you hate that everybody else seems to love. I'm going to go with the book that I love that I think gets a lot of hate, and that book is Moby Dick. In fact, Moby Dick is a book that I thought I would hate, and I ended up loving. So I can't even explain it, guys. It makes no sense. That book I just actually find somewhat on the overdone side, but for some reason that's also what I love about it. All the characterization in there, in my opinion, is a little overblown and almost on the cheesy side, and yet I just love the characters. I just love every single one of them. And there's just so much going on in that book. And there are some parts that are just flat out, now I'm just going to just tell you about whales. But I liked that part too. I partially read it. I partially listened to it on an audiobook when I read it last year for the first time. And it was a great ride. And it also randomly at one point reminded me of all the stories my husband ever told me about his football coach. Don't ask, there's no connection. He did not grow up in New England, but yeah, so there's that. So it was just an enjoyable read, but I feel like there's a lot of people who read it and hate it, and I don't know, you're missing out. I guess we have different senses of humor. Number 7 is Thin Mints. Tempted to go back to the freezer for another one. One of your all-time favorite books. Well, that would be the classic that I loved that I mentioned earlier, but it's so nice, I'm going to mention it twice. David Copperfield. There you go. If you haven't read it, what are you doing? You're wasting your time. Go get that book and read it. And you know what? Take your time with it. Sit back, enjoy, and just accept from the beginning that you're going to be spending a good portion of David's life with him, and just go through his experiences with him. Live in that world. Be in his family, or his found family, or his family's family. And just, family, you can't get rid of them. You gotta love them no matter what happens, and just, work it out like he kind of tries to do. And yeah, there are just some great characters in there. It's such an interesting story, and I just love it. And finally, number 8 is Tagalongs. Tag some fellow booktubers. Okay, let me do that. Ooh, I've got 1 minute before that goes off. Don't worry, I'll come back to you with the finished product. Okay, I'm going to mention in my video who I'm tagging, because one of the things I realized that these are all YouTubers that I watch, and so I want to encourage you to go watch them as well. So I tag Sarah at Bell's Library, Ben at Ben Reads Good, Hilary at Book Bustle, Pat at Book Chat with Pat, Matt at Book Time with Elvis, who I know also likes 3 Minute a Boat, Mary at Booking Through Life, and Ahtiya at Booking with Ahtiya. So, and all their channels will be listed below so that you can go and check out and see what kind of books they like to read and that kind of thing. And hopefully they'll do the tag and you'll learn a little bit more about what they like. I don't know if they all like classics, but I think it'll be fun if they do or don't. Yeah, and that's it for now until, see, dinner's almost done. But really the fries are only halfway done. There's still a lot of wrangling around that I gotta do. Maybe I'll do a little outro montage of the whole meal for you. Won't that be an editing nightmare? Well, that's it for today. I think I showed you a shot of my final plate of food. Sadly, if you saw that little spot I was pointing to on the counter, once there were 2 burger patties, now there's only 1. The other one had an accident on the way to the plate and didn't make it. Sad but true. But anyway, I'm going to go and enjoy my dinner, and I hope you have a good rest of your day. Thanks for watching. Bye.